All right, well, didn't have to go far to get to our first real highlight here on the Old Erie Canal State Historic Park. No, in fact, I've gone maybe 100 yards because right here we're at the Dewitt Aqueduct, the Butternut Creek Aqueduct, I could say. This is Butternut Creek down here. This is a gorgeous three-arc aqueduct. I'm standing, sadly the arches are under the towpath here where I'm standing, but there is a little trail that goes down where you can see it better. Just gotta make sure we can see it. So an aqueduct, for those of you who don't know, is where the canal crosses over a stream. We have a lot of the original stonework. You might be able to see there's a lot of original wood down on the bottom. This aqueduct was built for the Erie Canal enlargement project, which changed it from being a 40-foot wide, 4-foot deep canal into a 70-foot wide, 7-foot deep canal. Now, this was built in 1856. A lot of the stonework here. You might notice this trough here that's carrying the water, that's that. That does not, clearly not large enough to carry a boat in it. It's not 70 feet wide either. That was done in the 1920s when this section of the canal was again improved, largely due to helping out the barge canal, which brings me to why this 36-mile stretch of canal is still preserved even to this day. So we enlarged the barge canal in the early to mid 1800s to get to that 7-foot wide span, so it could accommodate more shipping. By the late 1800s, that canal just wasn't doing it. There were things called railroads. I don't know, you might have heard of them. They could ship way larger quantities of goods much faster, much easier. So the state of New York had to build an even bigger canal to compete, and that is today's modern barge canal, which still exists. This canal largely got rid of a lot of the artificial waterways before the first two versions of the canal. Totally artificial, well, for the most part. The barge canal uses things like the Mohawk River. It uses a lot of natural bodies of water now that have been canalized. However, that canal still needed water. So this canal, this section of enlarged Erie, which we are also on what's known as the long level. So a whole section that did not require locks. That was that's the second summit level of the canal, or the Rome summit, 60 some miles, pretty much between Utica and Syracuse, where you didn't need a lock. So this could be totally preserved, well, for the most part, all the way up to Rome, so you could continue feeding the canal. And actually right over that way is the Butternut Creek, the Butternut Feeder Canal. Hooks up to Butternut Creek 2 miles from here, and that continues to put water into this section of the canal. So anyway, this trough was built in the 1920s, much easier to maintain for the state, and it kept water flowing in. That feeder is also the only one that is still operational. Other quick things, so I said we're on the long level. Here in Dewitt, we're about 428 feet above the Hudson River, the eastern terminus of the Erie Canal, and we are 161 miles away from Albany. Luckily, thanks to this being the long level, I will not be changing elevation much, so probably the only time I'm going to mention that today. All right, on to the next stop.